In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition, another rather enlightening, thought-provoking, exciting edition of the Realist Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. Of course, I am the gatekeeper or the host of this particular program, known here on the internet as the mighty Angel Snub Nub 7. I am your brother, and hopefully your friend, Taalik Ibn'rad. You know, my original intent, well, you don't know, so I'm going to tell you. People always say, you know. No, I don't know. I don't know until you tell me. I don't know what's on your mind. We are not mind readers right now. Maybe in the future sometime when we get up out of the mud, we can develop our brains to the point where we don't even have to vocally talk. We can speak with our minds. It is possible. Did you know that the average human being only uses 10% of your brain power? So what is going on with the 90% that we don't use? What is the potential? What can it bring to the table to help in the evolution and the survival of the human being? Wow. So since we only use 10% of our brains, is it a shock that so many of us are really ignorant? We're idiots. It makes no difference how much money we have. Makes no difference how much education. Makes no difference about the color of your skin. We only use 10% of our brains, and it shows. These human beings that exist right now are so idiotic, ignorant, functional illiterates. They don't even understand the language that they speak. They can't even read the writing that is in the language that they speak. They make up their own understanding of something that is clearly written. So the original intent for this video, I was going to play around with some of these people who are making these allegations and accusations against me and just play with them. See, they will always lose, regardless. If you want to be serious, chances are I will beat you up being serious. If you want to name call and make fun of people and things like that, I can do that too. I do that very well also. In fact, it's about time I have a good laugh at somebody. But that is sort of boring. That's not no challenge, because these people are not going to give me a challenge. They only use 10% of their brain. So since they only use 10% of their brain, and really, I doubt if they use that much. They don't think worth nothing. So when, of course, they come up against a superior intelligence, yes, I am a superior intelligence. If I am not a superior intelligence, then please accept my invite and you debate me and you prove to the world that I'm a liar when I say that. But none of these, they go on their own web pages, YouTube channels, whatever, and they just gripe. Here I am in your face. I don't have to troll you. I don't have to do nothing. If you want me, here I am. Right here in your face. But the only thing they are going to do is just write some trash on a YouTube channel and just, they're not going to face me one-on-one. So why should I waste my time with a group of faceless people and some of these suckers show their face when they are not going to face me one-on-one. It's a waste of time. It's no challenge. So, while I was pondering that, other thoughts from the 90% of my brain began to come to me so that I would not no longer entertain those type of thoughts that clearly are a waste of time. And the thought that came from up out of the universe, out of this creation, gave me the topic. What is the topic that I've chosen? The topic is, I don't need a man. You hear black women and you hear women in general, not just black women. You have the female in general. She says, I don't need a man. This gets males upset. I'm an independent woman. I don't need a man. Many men get all upset and uppity and they can't stand to hear that. What's wrong with somebody saying that they don't need a man? What's wrong with somebody saying and making a declaration, I'm independent? You should be happy for somebody to say that. I don't need you. You want somebody to depend on you and you can't even do nothing for yourself. You should be happy that they can survive and make it without you. But you're not. And why? There are many people on social media who are upset with me. I ask them and invite them to open debate. Whatever the topic that they choose, whatever they feel they find wrong with me, debate me, come into a forum, find a moderator so that they can keep things civil, because I already know I'm going to be civil. I've been in the Caucasian people's courts. I know how to act in a civil manner and say what I have to say without saying mother this, kiss my this, and try to make fun of the judge's robes. That's nonsense. Stick to the topic. Stick to the subject. But you can't do that because your opinion is weak. It's out of date. And you want to blame me because you're living in the past. I am of the future. I'm directing our people to the future. I'm guiding our people and inspiring them so that they can fulfill their ultimate potential. Not stay a slave, whether the slave master is a Caucasian person or whether that slave master has black skin. I don't want my people. I don't want these who are the descendants of slaves born in America. You don't need no slave master. Being a slave to any man or even any God is over for you. Because you said that you are God. You said that you are gods and goddesses. Gods and goddesses don't serve God. They don't serve other beings. Gods don't serve and a servant or a slave to another god. Gods have servants, but we don't even need that. Why would we do to somebody what was done to us? I don't want no servants. I don't want no slaves. I use my power for the benefit of the slave, benefit of the servant, benefit of life. Because I'm a just God. I'm a fair God. And I don't need somebody to worship me, to give me value, or to justify my existence. I don't need you to do no kind of work for me. I can build my own house, build my own universe. I don't need no slave to do nothing. That's the purpose of God. So why would God need a servant? Why do you need to serve God when God has the power to do all things, brought you into existence? Why would God need a servant? Somebody to sit around all day and shout out and praise his or her name. That sounds so arrogant, Hasidic, and pompous. This is what we become. You would like to debate me, but you can't. You can't debate me because you can't debate what you don't know. You can't debate what you can't even comprehend. I look like, and I might sound like, something of the past. Pro-black this, pro-black that. I might look and sound that way, but you know that's not what I represent. And that gets you upset. You live in the past. This is a brand new day. But you are still mentally dead. Anything that lives, you say that you go to church and you worship in the house of the living God. But everything about this God is dead. It's death. There's nothing living about it. You have to die in order to get a reward. The servant that you praise is dead. Brought back alive, but we don't never see him no more. If you're living, where you at, Jesus? You were raised from the dead. You raised Lazarus from the dead. And Lazarus is not here either. Anything that lives must change. You can't stay a baby. You can't stay an infant. You must grow teeth in your mouth, hair on your head. You get taller and stronger because you're living. You take in food. You take in something, substance, in order to grow and mature, and you evolve physically. However, it is unfortunate that you do not evolve mentally, or some of y'all say spiritually. The dead does not change. If you leave a dead body in the river, that's where you go find it. If the dead body was on the side of a building, that's where you go find it. If the dead body is wherever they died, that's where you go find that body. And the only change, the only evolution is the returning back to the ground. It does not grow and mature. It decomposes. It rots. And during the process of decomposition, there is a stench. It releases, when you die, when anything dies, it releases a foul odor. And in scriptures, in religious teaching, the black man and woman, we are considered dead people. We even call ourselves dead. Foul odor coming from us. A great stench. We stink to the high heavens, decomposing because we're no longer living. And you have black power. You have Hebrew Israelite. You have Muslim. You have all this stuff that y'all made up and got. And you still dead. You don't grow. You don't mature. You don't evolve. You don't change. You're still doing the same thing that Marcus Garvey did in 1930. You're still doing the same thing that Elijah Muhammad did in 1930. The same thing that the Black Panthers did in 1960. You're still living in the past. You have not changed. You don't evolve. So you decomposing and you're rotten and you stink. Black Power, Elijah Muhammad, Marcus Garvey, all these things of the past, they brought us some kind of success, but the reality is they failed. They failed us. And now you believe that which is dead can save you. A dead man ain't never saved nobody. It was a living person that put that dead person in a grave. You worshipers of the dead. Obsessed with the dead. You talk about Malcolm, you talk about Marcus Garvey, you talk about Elijah Muhammad. Y'all always talk about all these people, Harriet Tubman. But if you actually knew them, had to live with them, you probably wouldn't like them now, because you give people that's living pure hell right now. Angel Snub Nub 7 is a troll. Angel Snub Nub 7 is this. Angel Snub Nub 7 is a liar. Angel Snub Nub 7 is everything in the book. Farrakhan, Farrakhan, Jesse Slaxon, all these funny names you got for Al Sharpton. Anybody that's living, you give them hell. You didn't treat Martin Luther King with love either. And you fake with your love in 2013 because you don't practice what the man preached. You practice what the enemy paint for you to practice because you really don't want to do nothing. You don't want to face this racist like Dr. King did, because if you face this racist like Dr. King did, you be going to jail every day. He'll sick some more dogs on you, spray you with fire hoses, shoot tear gas at you. You don't represent and you don't follow in the footsteps of Martin Luther King or none of our freedom fighters. You're at home playing Nintendo. Fake black revolutionary wannabes because you comfortable. You comfortable in your oppression. You're not serious about nothing. All of this is nothing but entertainment for you. Because you're dead. You are more than skin color. So you're not going to hear me talk about black. Skin color is what we have in common. But that is not us. That was something that was placed on us by our enemies, the racists, and y'all continue the oppression. Our ancestors came from the African continent, some of them. Some of y'all say some black people were already here. There's truth to all of it, but yet and still, when it's all said and done, we still all are descendants of slaves. We all was oppressed. We all was living under Jim Crow. We all had to worry about being lynched and raped and murdered, discriminated against in this country. You want to get technical, all y'all fake amateur historians. Racists made you black. Ain't no dark-skinned person running around talking about, I'm a black person, I'm black. The enemy named you black. The enemy named you and gave you a relationship with the continent of Africa. The enemy made you obsessed. But see, all these things, Marcus Garvey, Elijah Muhammad, all these things was the evolution of a people trying to come to life, being raised from the dead. But what you have failed and what you continue to do is you cannot mature, you cannot evolve, you're still stuck in the past. And when a grown person is stuck in the past, they call you mentally retarded. You and I will suffer from mental retardation. You're living in the body of a 30-year-old person, but you have a 18-year-old mentality. You're living in the past of your evolution instead of becoming an adult. That makes us mentally retarded, and that's not politically correct. They have a different word for that now. Mental something, I don't know what it is. So I'm just going to have to say the word or the describe in the manner that I know of at this time and not worry about being politically correct. When you just see yourself as a black person, when you see yourself just as some kind of African, you limit yourself to these things. And you won't put yourself and put your mind in a position to reach the potential that you and I really are. You have made yourself an inferior. At one time, the racists did whatever they could to make you and I inferior, and now you do it to yourself. I'm black. So if you want to stay dead, that's your business. But don't bring that here, because you're not going to get none of that off here. Because I am beyond black. I'm beyond Africa. If you just want to live in Africa, that's your business. This whole planet, I have a right to live. This whole universe, even under the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad said and taught that the original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe, not God of Africa, not God of the earth, God of the universe. So when you look up out into the sky, into that darkness, it looks like it never ends. The potential is limitless. That's you. But when you say I'm black, when you say I'm African, you limit yourself to the earth. You limit yourself to the earth when you should be reaching out to the heavens. And even in symbolism, in Christianity, the Christians, they want to go to heaven. They want to leave the earth, while you want to stay on the planet and be happy in Africa. The Christians, they want to leave the planet and go to heaven. Why do you think people get obsessed getting high? Because when you get high, when you get drunk, it takes you to another place outside of yourself, outside of this physical plane. It makes you, that's why they say, I'm getting high. I want to go up because I'm tired of being down. Africa and the skin color, that's being down. We want to rise above those things. That's a trap. That's a trap that the racists put on you and me. And you have yet to learn how to get up out of the trap because you're stuck in the past. Stuck in your infancy. When you should now be able to stand on your own 2 feet. Walk and talk and act like adults. Instead of still needing milk to drink. Still on your mama's breast. Still on the breast of Elijah Muhammad. Still suckling the breast of Marcus Garvey. Still suckling the breast of all those who are no longer here to give you any milk. The breast dried up. So the only thing you can do is like a dog chasing its tail. Go round in circles, round and around, and we look insane. That's how you look. You look insane. Wow. You don't want to debate me on the issue because I'm beyond you. But you see, the creation, God loves us to bring us the final stage that our ancestors directed us to. In religious teaching, it said that Jesus did not come to take us away from the law of Moses or Noah, Abraham, any of the prophets, all those prior to Jesus. He came to verify what the prophets brought to the people and then some, and then add on to it. Because it's an evolutionary prophet. Jesus is supposed to be the one to seal, to bring the seal, to bring it to its conclusion. I am not here, and I do not call myself Jesus or anything like that. But I do know, I do not come here to make mockery of Marcus Garvey. I do not come here to make mockery surely of Elijah Muhammad or Noble Drew Ali or Harriet Tubman or any of us, any of my ancestors prior to myself. But I'm here to add on to what they taught. You were crawling. At one time, we did not even crawl. So our ancestors got us crawling. Now you got to stand. You got to get off the breast. You a big boy. You a big girl. I want to go to Africa. I don't want to go to Africa. I got all this universe. I'm more than black skin. Skin color don't mean nothing. I understand that's a trap by those who are what's the word I'm looking for? But see, they can't go beyond skin. Their destiny is right here on the earth. They can't go into the heavens. They can't even comprehend. So they spend their time getting drunk and high, dope addicts. But see, you and I, we have a connection to the universe. And the umbilical cord is reconnecting. So just like the scriptures say, you must be born again. But how can you be born again? You can't return to your mother's womb. You're returning to a different state of mind. You're beginning to understand your connection to the universe, not to Africa, not to Asia, but to the universe, to that which brought you into this essence into being, and no longer be trapped by skin color or a place on this planet. You want to be trapped with those who can't get high, those who are trapped on the planet. How are we to reach our fullest potential? The only way that we can reach our fullest potential is that the woman, the female, must be free. That's right. It's the woman that must be free. She represents and she's a symbol of the womb of the universe itself. Most black men will agree that the black man and woman, the descendants of slaves born in America, you will agree that we need to be free. However, above you, above a people of a certain skin color, there are people who have suffered longer and far worse than black people. Who is that? Women, female human beings. The black man will tell me quick that black people need to be liberated. Black people need to be free. But he has a problem when you tell him that women need to be free. Women, the female, are the number one oppressed life form on this planet. The number one enslaved, the number one exploited. Going on for way longer than black people, because prior to black slavery, the black man turned around and you have caused great harm to your women, put them in a subservient position. You betrayed their trust because you want to control the womb. You want to be able to have a direct connection to the universe. So since you can't, you don't have a womb. So you figure if you control the woman, then you control that connection, and I don't care what happens. Has it worked? No, it has not. The men or the males have been conditioned to have a superior attitude. You hate to hear women say, I don't need a man. I'm an independent woman. I don't need a man. You hate women to say that, just like the races. They hate to hear black people say, I want separation. We don't need Caucasian people. We want to do our own thing. They don't like that. Because those who feel superior, if the woman is independent and she don't need a man, then you don't have nobody to exploit. You don't have nobody to feel supreme over. If the black man and woman separate from these Caucasian people and you go on to do great things without them, who are they going to be supreme over? They have a feeling and a need to be supreme and exploit somebody. All of this we learn from under what we call patriarchal teachings, where the man is supreme. Instead of pink supremacy, white supremacy, you have male supremacy, man supremacy, patriarchal teachings. And just as Caucasian or pink supremacy, look at the damage and the harm it has caused to black people, patriarchal teachers have done the same to women and females all over this planet, regardless to their so-called race. So the question and the topic that must be answered here, the subject, which brings a question. Does the woman need a man to be whole? Of course, under patriarchal teachings, that would be a yes. Well, let's explore this very quickly. Let's see how true this could be. A woman is born alone, by herself, coming from her mother's womb. The male has the seed, but the seed cannot develop in the man. Only in a woman's womb can any life develop. So man and woman comes from the womb of woman, regardless the sperm. Sperm cannot produce and develop life. What is the benefit of woman and man besides reproduction? We do know that if a woman wants to be a mother, she cannot become whole unless she conceives and has relations with a man. What other benefit is there? And if the woman is not whole, then what was she separated from? She was separated from the man. But if the man and the woman come together, what was the original being? What were you before the separation? You're separate now. You separate now. The man over here, woman over there. You're saying that you're not whole, so that means something broke you up. Why was you broken up? Why were you separated? And what was the function of the male and the female when they was together before they was broken and separated from? What was the function of the being prior to this? There's a lot of questions here that you need to answer. Some of y'all say that the women need a man for protection. Now, maybe that was true in the past. But they make guns now. They make knives now. You can go to karate class. There's mace. There's those electric gadgets, those tasers. What she need you for? Many of these men can't even change the woman's car tire. Have no plumbing skills. No carpentry skills. You have nothing to offer except a penis. And then you will sell your sperm at a bank. She'll go to the sperm bank, get the sperm, have herself impregnated. She don't need a man. So what is your purpose? Why are you all upset? What do you have to offer in this relationship? It seems to me she's better off being separated. What do you bring to the table so that you can claim now you whole? Except you want her whole. Oh man, I ain't trying to be nasty. Oh, you obsessed. You don't like women really. But you are attracted to that vagina. That's all on your mind. You want that vagina bad. Think about it 24 hours a day. You hate women. You don't like them. You only see a woman as a servant. Something to play with. And you don't like the idea she won't let you play with her no more. I'm an independent woman. I don't need to be around you no more. There's no benefit. What is the benefit? What is the benefit of man coming together with woman and becoming, as y'all say, whole? So when the man or the male comes connects with the woman in a sexual manner, this connection produces life. But at the same time, the connection is not permanent. You do what you have to do, transfer the sperm into the womb, and it's over with. Now she is doing her thing by herself, and you going back do your thing by yourself. And a lot of y'all like it that way. Man, I just wanted to get me some, and I'm out of here. You have no interest in the life. That's why it's easy for men to go around the planet and drop bombs and cause wars and take life, because you can't produce life and you don't care. But a woman who forms life in her womb for 9 months, she has a different way of thinking. She thinks about saving life. So she can have a stillborn baby. A stillborn baby is born dead. But she still have a connection to this baby because that's her instinct, mother instinct. Men don't have a maternal instinct. They don't care nothing about life. Very few men would do what mama do. And then the men get jealous. Mama clean your backside when you couldn't clean it yourself. You vomit when you was a child and throw vomit everywhere, and you nasty and disgusting little creature when you're little because you can't take care of yourself. And mama clean up your doo-doo and your poo-poo. And she smell your stink and tolerate your vomit because she love you. Most fathers don't want nothing to do with that. But mama go to the hospital with you, hold your hand 24 hours a day if necessary. Mama walk you to the school bus. Mama do things for you. The quality of mama ain't like what it used to be. The quality, not the quantity of parents, it's the quality. of parents. The quality of mama ain't what it used to be, but see, no matter how bad mama is, mama still have her instinct for her child, and she cares about life. So mama might be ignorant, mama might be stupid, mama might be ratchet, but mama try to do the best she can to what she was given. Because mama ain't perfect. Mama probably didn't have a decent mama. We don't teach young girls how to be mothers. We don't teach young men how to be fathers no more. There used to be parenting classes in school. Now the only thing they do is give out condoms and wish you the best of luck. When a socket and a cord come together, the socket is by itself. The cord is by itself, but when it comes together, there's electricity, a charge of electricity. There's a benefit. Man and woman come together, it produces life. It produces life. A charge of electricity. I don't need a man. Because if I get a man, I want to produce life. Easy to get that. But what else? What other benefit? Because you can't stay connected sexually. How do you stay together and stay whole? And what is the benefit? What is the bigger creature that the man and the female represent if you come together? In nature, women and females, the female animal in nature, they live and function without males every day. Been doing it for millions of years. Now all of a sudden, y'all got a Bible. All of a sudden, y'all got these teachings. Now the women can't live without a man. No, what it is, you need somebody to look down upon. You need somebody to be inferior to make yourself look good. What do you offer? I don't need a man. I'm an independent woman. And she is. She don't need your money. She don't even need your sperm. Because you willing to sell that at a sperm bank. What is it, black man? What is it, men around this earth? What is it that you can offer this woman? Except sperm. Because she can do everything else. Your leadership is incompetent. You are warmonger. You exploit the woman. Put her on poles. Put a string between her butt and she run down the street. You call her a bitch and a whore and a ratchet and all these different things. What she need you for? To be around people to degrade her and make mockery of her and exploit her. Be proud to be an independent woman. Be proud to say, I don't need a man. But see, the thing about it is when a real man shows up, when a real man that has the proper connection that can make you whole, when that man shows up, even when you hear that voice, that woman will respond whether she like it or not. Because she is looking for somebody to make her whole. Because when she is whole, she can function properly. And what is proper functioning? Is now her mind can begin to work on her womb that will bring into existence better human beings. And these better human beings will reflect the essence of the universe. endless potential, beyond skin color, beyond gender, beyond class, beyond all these isms. A real man ain't interested in race, class, gender. He is interested in trying to return back home to the womb. And he understands his function. Because if he don't understand his function, trying to connect with a woman, then y'all can't function if you come together properly. These are not human beings on this planet. These are intellectual savages, calling themselves men, calling themselves women, running around doing anything at any time, wherever the wind blows, obsessed with physical flesh. The physical flesh is male. The physical flesh is female. But the mind has no gender. But as long as you see that woman as a woman, female, and just see yourself as a male, then there can be no proper connection, because the mind has no gender. This mind can easily become female, and the mind in the female can easily be male. There is no gender. So that is reason why you can't make proper connection. The same way you physically can come together, you should be able to do mentally. But unlike, I want to bring this to conclusion. But unlike the physical connection, and most times you are seeking pleasure in that physical connection. But with the mental, or what y'all call the spiritual connection, there is a permanent bond. You don't come loose. So what once was separate now becomes whole. And when you become whole, we have yet, and we cannot even comprehend what the new being really is. That's the difference between the intellectual savage and the human being. We are surrounded by intellectual savages. They look human, but they are not. Destructive. Nobody in their right mind will poison the air, poison the water, poison the food that you need to survive. But an intellectual savage does not have a connection to the universe or even to this planet. The intellectual savage only has a connection to things. So when you talk to an intellectual savage, when they tell you about success, I'm successful. It's all about how many houses they have, how many cars they drive, who they know that they think has some type of value. I know the president. I'm a millionaire. The intellectual savage is connected to material things. That's success for them. And that success is relegated to this planet. But I want to get high. I don't want to get high on drugs. I don't want to get high on meth. I want to be able to explore the 90% of my brain that we don't use. Because the 90% of our brain that we don't use is a key. What is it a key to, my friend? What is it a key to, brothers and sisters? It's a key to the endless potential of the universe. That's what it is a key to. Unlocking the door to life. Opening the door to death. And you fear death. But there's no need to fear death because it's part of this thing that we call life. It's all part of the universe. The reality that we know, because in order for anything to live, something must die. Something is always changing forms, evolving. You talk about peace, but really there's no such thing as peace. You live in order for things to change, there has to be a certain amount of violence, but it's controlled violence. It's not mayhem and chaos. If you could look at your body, there's gases blowing up in your body, things being destroyed, things being excreted from your body, violent type actions in your body all the time. Your heart, boom, boom, boom. Pressure. You can't have life without violence. But what you call peace is controlled violence. So you come into this world and you talk about peace and you really don't know what it is, because just the fact of how you came into being. And I don't want to be vulgar or nasty, but when a man gets on top of a woman and y'all have sexual intercourse, that's not peaceful. You're huffing and puffing and sweating, throwing sweat and body fluids everywhere. It sounds sort of nasty and disgusting too, but it's violent. It's a violent action. We have to understand what is going on in our reality. So we make up stuff. A man can't live without a woman. Well, females in nature and human being women, and in fact, more and more women are saying, I'm independent. I don't need a man. And she's doing that because of the oppression, the evil that men do to women. And you don't understand who and what she is. So she'd rather be by herself than in the company of a fool. And I don't blame her. She wants to get away from you because y'all men are crazy. You're crazy, insane. You a leader, incompetent. Lead us to what? War, destruction, poison of the air, poison of the water, the destruction of the planet. Do you really think that you're going to be allowed to go into the universe with that type of mentality? But women, if you get your act together, you can leave these men behind. Because you represent life. You represent limitless potential. And the male is jealous because he wants to control that potential, when he should understand who and what you are. Because whatever you represent is for the benefit of both of you. There is no leader. There is unison. There is a partnership. But you can't be a partner when you don't understand your roles. So what we need to do is understand our roles and stop being somebody trying to be pompous and arrogant, want to be superior over somebody. Why don't these men just go ahead and find another man to lay up with. Leave these women alone. You don't want to treat these women right. And until right men come for you, I don't blame black women. I don't blame no woman at all. Be proud to say, I'm independent. I don't need a man. Because really you don't. Because the only man that's coming around is a fool, a pompous, racist, think they superior, male chauvinist, misogynist pig. And you don't need that around you. And you don't need that type of attitude and behavior and mentality around your children that have the potential to control all of that up in the sky, in the heavens. But as long as you are under the rule and under control of these men, you'll never be able, you can't even comprehend nothing like that. Send a robot to Mars. Send a robot to the moon. Only get a taste of the pie instead of eating the pie. And just like Elijah Muhammad taught us about Caucasian people. And I'm going to say this, women. If a man won't treat you right, what make you think he's going to teach you right? Elijah Muhammad said that of Caucasian people. These Caucasian people have never treated us with freedom, justice, and equality. Never treated us right. So if a person is not going to treat you right, what make you think they're going to teach you right? They give you all these religions, not created by God, created by men, so they can control you, exploit you at will. So they hate to hear you say, I'm an independent woman, I don't need no man. Don't bother me at all. I want you to be that way. Because if the man is corrupt, you should be able to go on and do things yourself. And if a man have any kind of love for you, he would be happy that you can make it on your own and be independent and don't need him, since he has not lived up to expectations. If a man won't treat you right, what make you think he's going to teach you right? And what make you think he's going to teach your babies right? The choice is up to you. I'm not calling all men angry, bad people or whatever. It's a learning process if you want to learn. The information is here now. Most men reject it. Women are thinking. But you know something? I take that back. Many men are waking up. They understand everything that I say, and many men are not being silly and beginning to understand their role. They beginning to understand that somebody lied to them. So now it is time to let go of lies and embrace self-thinking, logic, understanding, being rational, and let go of all this nonsense that we was taught. With that said, thank you for listening. Jot down your comments. This your brother, the Angel Snubbed Up 7. I love all you sisters and women and all my people, the suffering masses. Let's think about it. You don't have to agree with nothing I said. Just think about it a little bit. Let yourself think. Stop copying and mimicking what somebody done and said in the past. Thank you for listening. Jot down your comments. This was and is the Realist Temple on Earth.